And we're back for the second episode of Season 3 of The Living World Rising Flames. An episode that came a lot sooner than I or any of us expected. It came way sooner than the 2 to 3 months that Arenanet told us would be in between episodes. Looking at what we got, it also doesn't seem the content is suffering under the pace of the releases. Same goes for the story that we got in Rising Flames. For the most part, the meat of the story was at the beginning and the end of the episode. It felt like the middle part was an elaborate way of forcing us to explore the map. The middle part that took place in the new map didn't really give us that much story besides some minor things, which we'll get into. With that being said, let's take a look at the top moments. Just like episode 1, the dialogue and interaction between the characters is top notch, with TAIMI being the prime example of that. It seems like the people at Arenanet are really having fun with TAIMI. As far as characters go, she is also the most well-rounded character that gives them the most options. To me, TAIMI really is the superstar of Season 3 so far, with her interactions with Ridlock being the most fun. There's just something really funny about two polar opposite characters forced into a room together. What was clever too was making TAIMI somewhat the voice of the community. She referenced the underwater dragon's name as something starting with an S. It has been a trope for some time now to call the underwater dragon Steve because we know so little about it. She also slams Ridlock for never explaining what he did during his journey in the mist and calling him an zipper lips. Not explaining what Ridlock did in the mist during Heart of Thorns is widely seen as one of the big holes in the story of the expansion. Have a listen.
Outside of a few monkey anomalies, the room was very impressive. Next time you'll have to program in some Jormag minions. Any idea what's happening with the other Elder Dragons?
Nothing on Krakatoa can ditto for... what's his name? Brain malfunction, starts with an S.
What about a weakness? All this machinery has to be good for something.
Why don't you channel some patience from the mists there, Tribune? A whole civilization of brilliant Asura couldn't find it. But yeah, I got this in 5 minutes.
Maybe if you were as open with your research as you were with your mouth, you'd have cracked it by now.
You're going to lecture me on openness? Remind me again what happened to you in the mists. Oh, that's right, zipper lips.
Okay, we're all on the same team here. But, have you made any progress?
Only a few huge leaps. First, remember my chalk organ?
The horribly disgusting body part of an even more horribly disgusting giant bug that you keep in the despicable blighting pod fluid? Yes, I remember. Despite desperately trying to forget.
I named it Spencer.
And it's somehow more disturbing.
Don't listen to him, Spence. Anyway, I discovered...
It's a fun way of Arenanet telling us that they do listen to our complaints and understand them. It will also make TAIMI that much popular. One of the problems of the Elder Dragons being the big bad of Guild Wars 2 is that their presence isn't daunting enough. It feels like the dragons are politely waiting in line for a ride on the roller coaster ride that is the living world. Who is the next to be eventually whacked by the hero? It makes it predictable and the dragons don't live up to their name. In the first story instance, while in TAIMI'S hyperbolic time chamber, we learn that Jormag is also active. With the activity of two dragons being Primordus and Jormag, Arenanet seems to be tackling that issue. Now, just by saying Jormag is active doesn't make the threat of the Elder Dragon any bigger. They'll have to visualize it, which means there could be a trip towards the northern Shiver Peaks in our future. Undoubtedly, the biggest moment this episode is when the dragon egg we fought tooth and nail to protect finally hatches, and oh my god, it's freaking adorable. They did a really good job at the design. With the crystal spikes and scales over the body, it's really reminiscent of its mother. Its name is also fitting to me. Aurene is similar to Gleam, Glyn's other child. Now, as to the future of this newborn dragon, I have no clue. I guess we'll train it to be an asset against the Elder Dragon, but there must be more to the dragon than that. I'm very curious to see what they do with the baby Aurene now that it has hatched. And last but not least, there was also Lazarus. It's seen for a long time Lazarus would take a seat on the bench this episode, but at the 11th hour Lazarus saves our ass just as we're being swarmed by destroyers. Now, at the face of it, Lazarus seems to be on our side, but the question is he being truthful? The mursaat have always been a duplicit and conniving race. Has Lazarus truly seen the light? In the new map Ember Bay, you can find several mursaat lore tablets that reveal that the first battle against the Elder Dragon thousands of years ago might have been a one-sided representation. It seems like the mursaat feel screwed over by the other races, most notably the Forgotten, and in their bitterness they did what they did during Guild Wars 1. Now to me the mursaat have always been a race motivated by preservation. They don't do evil for the sake of being evil, but for the sake of surviving. That's why it's difficult for me to just believe Lazarus made a 180-degree turn. I really hope there's more to Lazarus' motivation, and I can't wait to find out. Beside these personal top moments, there were also some honorable mentions like Modo and his involvement in TAIMI'S hyperbolic time chamber with the super adventure bot Monkey as one of the enemies you fight. There's also Whitlock being stripped of his rank and title as Tribune. The discovery of Roban, another Stone Summit dwarf, is also something worth mentioning. These are honorable mentions to me because at this point their impact on the story is minimum, but that could change in the future. To add to that, these are just the story moments. There is also the beautiful new and big map, not to mention the stunning music in, for example, the first story instance. In conclusion, I feel Rising Flames was a successful follow-up to the first episode. What I like most is that the story is much faster paced. Stuff actually happens this season. In previous seasons we sometimes went multiple episodes on the move without making any real progress. This time we're only 2 episodes in and we got 2 dragons on the move, Lazarus the Dire returns and the dragon egg hatched. Amazing work on Arenanet's part, and let's hope they can keep it up. See you for episode 3.